And action. God. Not my chair yet. Action. Well guys, it's morning 3 and the camouflage ninja is hiding out in his original tree stand. Now decided to come back and hit our original watering hole since our primary objective are elk. Saw a lot of bucks up on that other hill and we'll probably go there tonight so Bryce can try and get that big 3-point that we saw, but we're back at our original tree stand and just hoping this breeze dies down so it quits blowing our scent all over and hoping something comes in. So I think part of our problem with our morning hunts have been that we've had full moons every night. This morning when we walked into our tree stands, we didn't even have lights on we had our lights on our head, but we didn't have them on. And we were able to walk into our tree stands just because of the moonlight. I think that's had the animals up eating during the night so they can rest in the morning. So, well, I am either crazy or stupid, and I'm not sure which one I've figured out yet. But just over this way, a tree just come crashing down because of the wind. So my tree keeps getting blown so hard that I can go forward and kiss the ground, and then it sways back till I hit my head on the tree from it hitting the ground. Not really, but it's just been mild wind like this, and also we'll get these little gusts of wind and it just comes in and hits hard. But if you're ever wondering if a tree makes a sound in the forest when it falls, yes it does. I think with that full moon last night, it let the animals roam and eat and drink all they wanted, and they bedded down as soon as they heard us coming to town. How's your morning?
The wind blew from every direction, which makes it hard to stay downwind. So within about 30 seconds I was checking the wind and it blew from the east, from the south, and from the north. So
your only chance was to the west.
Yeah. Yep. So the only hope we had was an animal came in from the east, and that didn't happen. So we'll try again this evening and see what we can get. Hopefully more than we got today.
We're gonna head back to camp right now and get things kind of cleaned up. Tonight after we're done hunting, we have to pull out. Bryce has to work the next 3 days. I've got to go home and take care of some home obligations, and then we'll be back out next weekend. Thanks for watching as much as you have to this point. By the end of this series, we will hopefully have 2 elk and a mule deer down. We are not your professional hunters by any means. We're just one old fat guy and one stunningly handsome guy out flinging arrows at big game and hoping to put meat on the table. We ride our 4-wheelers as close as we can and hike from there. We're not the typical hike 7 to 20 miles in a day and then shoot an animal and haul it back out 7 to 20 miles. That's our brother Darren. We'll let him do that. We, like I said, get our 4-wheelers as close as we can, and then we hike in anywhere from 1 to 3 miles. 3-mile hikes plenty good for me. Bryce could probably hike like Darren does, but he's got old fat me that's got to tag along with. So maybe once we get camp cleaned up, Bryce and I'll sit down and kind of tell you a little bit about us and how we came up with our name of our hunting club and camp and everything else. So we'll see you back at camp.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Just wanted to take a minute while we have some downtime here hunting and just introduce ourselves.
And elk hunting. You're deer hunting, I'm elk hunting.
Deer hunting, elk hunting. While we're hunting, I'm Bryce. I'm Brandon's youngest brother. And a little bit about myself. Growing up, all my brothers hunted with my dad, and I think I went hunting 1 year with my dad, and then he kind of stopped hunting at that point. And so I think I was about 11 when he stopped, so I never really got to go hunting very much. I was able to go and get my hunter's education and go the 1 year, but then after that things got really busy for my dad, and so he kind of stopped hunting. And so several years went by, and then I went elk hunting about a little over 20 years ago with Brandon. We had just rifle tags to go out elk hunting, and I had just a spike tag, and so of course all I saw were big bulls and cows that year, and so that was a little bit frustrating. And so didn't hunt again for a little while because I was busy. I was newlywed at the time and going through school and working a full-time job, and at the time my wife and I were building our first home, and so quite a few years went by, and at that point I bought a new bow. I had a neighbor that I lived by that worked for Hoyt, and did a lot of shooting. Went with him to Hoyt a couple times to shoot at their range, and so I picked up a bow and started shooting again, and realized I really enjoyed it. Just the opportunity to get out and even just target shooting. It's nice to just relax and focus on just shooting the target. You can let a lot of your stresses go away, and so eventually went from just target shooting with him to I did some turkey hunts and harvested a couple of turkeys, which was great, and then started trying to go after big game, elk and deer. So that's where we're at this point, is elk and deer hunting.
I'm Brandon. I'm Bryce's oldest brother, and I started hunting probably when I was 12, probably younger than that. I remember going with my dad and my uncle and cousins out pheasant hunting and rabbit hunting when I was much younger. Went to the hunter's ed course and got my hunter safety card. So then I started hunting. I think I was 14 when I started deer hunting. I had an old Jennings compound bow, and I think I was probably pulling 45, maybe 50 pounds with that thing, and went out and bow hunted all the way up till I was 19 years old. And then I left to go serve a mission for my church, and that was the last I'd bow hunted for a while. When I came back, I ended up going through the police academy and worked as a deputy sheriff in Cache County, Utah, and did that for 20 years. It was really hard to get any time off there to go hunting because a lot of the deputies I worked with went hunting, whether it was archery or rifle, and it seemed like every time I'd put in, there's always 10 other guys who asked for it first, and so I kind of gave up hunting for a little while. And I retired a couple years ago, and my brother Darren, who is an avid hunter in Wyoming, I'm surprised Wyoming has any game left because he's killing everything, but he had an old PSE bow and he gave it to me and said, here you go, there's no excuse, start shooting. And so last year I called Bryce and said, can I crash your hunting party? And he said, yeah, he'd like some company. It was just him pretty much, and so he and I started hunting together, and we had a terrible year last year. We hunted from August 15th to December 15th, and I think we only saw 2 elk that entire time. We ran into over a dozen moose and plenty of deer and everything. Just couldn't find the elk. They were disappeared. So we had shot some video footage of that, but just nothing that we really felt anybody'd want to watch. So we're kicking it off this year because we're going to slay 2 elk and 1 deer with our bows this year, and we're going to try and talk Bryce into going hunting after black bear in Idaho maybe next year or in 2 years. See if we can get him to do that. See if we can convince our wives to let us do that. So, yeah. But we love getting on YouTube and watching hunting videos, and thought, why not record our hunt, and you can find out where we're successful or where we fail or where we fall flat on our face. Like I said, last year is when we originally had planned on putting this channel together. I had designed a logo that was half an elk hoof and half of a black bear paw print, and merged the two together, and couldn't ever really think of a name to go with it. So I took the black off of black bear and the bull off of bull elk and just called it Black Bull Hunting to get the YouTube channel registered. Never really cared for the name, but I didn't know what else to call it.
So this last Sunday, I was at home, and I have 3 kids, and 2 boys and a daughter. And my daughter's 7 years old, and she was wanting to know what Brandon and I had been up doing. And so I said, well, do you want to see? I said, Brandon's got this YouTube channel, and he's actually got videos showing us, putting our tree stands up and out where we're going to be hunting. And she said, okay. And so she was really happy that her dad made it on YouTube. Thought that was a lifelong accomplishment for me. So she was really excited because she knows only famous people are on YouTube. But as we were talking, she said, well, what's the name of the channel? And of course the 7-year-old knows that they're hell channels, and so I said, well, it's actually called Black Bull Hunting. And she said, well, that's weird, you should call it Hairy-Legged Hunters, or Hairy-Legged Hunting. And I kind of laughed, and Brandon was going to be coming over, so I said, well, when Uncle Brandon gets here, you need to tell him that, okay? And she said, okay. And so sure enough, when Brandon came over, she got embarrassed at that point because she thought the name was a little silly, but she liked it. But both Brandon and I you know, thought it was funny, hairy-legged hunting. And so you can either take it as we have hairy legs, or the animals we hunt have hairy legs. I'm not sure, but coming from the mind of a 7-year-old, we thought it was a pretty funny name, and one that people would remember. So we are the hairy-legged hunters with hairy-legged hunting.
Yeah. We're going to shoot some hairy legs today, hopefully. But, you know, like I said earlier, we really enjoy getting on YouTube and being inspired by other YouTube hunters. The one that really inspires me the most is Hush. A lot of you probably are subscribed to their channel. I like watching B-Mac and Casey and all of the whole group just getting together, and Eric, all of them getting their bows and the rifles too. I'm not against rifle hunting. In Utah you can buy one or the other, and we like to go archery hunting, so that's what we tend to gravitate towards. But I really like watching their channel, and it's inspired me to get out and be more in the woods and part of nature, and get off my butt and archery hunt.
Yeah, I've watched Hush also. A couple other channels that I've watched that I really enjoy is Bow Hunt or Die, their channel. They're kind of an inspiration for all the hunters on there that go out and self-film. It's bow hunting's a challenge, and to add on top of it that they're trying to film themselves plus film shooting an animal, a lot of hard work goes into that. So I also like to watch Red Arrow. Don't know if any of you have ever watched Red Arrow hunting, but kind of takes the seriousness out of it. He's still a great hunter, but put some humor into it, and so I appreciate that.
I think you'll probably find more of our channel like that, more humorous, because you can't take this guy serious for anything. Another really good one is the Hunting Public. I really like watching their channel. They're whitetail hunters, but they hunt from a tree stand quite often, and Bryce and I hunt from a tree stand, obviously, so I kind of like watching their show and getting some of their thoughts and concepts down. But we hope you'll hit the subscribe button. It helps us if we get subscribers to know if what we're doing is being appreciated or not. Sorry, the bees around here are terrible. They haven't stung us, but they sure fly around. If you're watching this video right now, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. That's also very important, because it shows YouTube this is something that people like seeing, and they will push it to other people who want to see videos like hunting videos and stuff. And then we always welcome comments, respectful comments, obviously. We know we're not professional hunters. If we were, we'd be doing this full time, and Bryce wouldn't be working at Casper's, and I wouldn't be working in the police department. But we're always up for encouragement. We're always up for new ideas. If we're doing something wrong, such as forgetting to wear our safety harness when we're putting our tree stand up, let us know. It's a great reminder. We don't always forget to put them on. Sometimes we just forget to put them in the truck. So like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys. We got the hunt tonight we're gonna go hit right now. Probably in about a half hour we'll suit up and head up on the mountain. Bryce is gonna hit that area where I saw those 5 bucks, and I'm gonna go sit over where he was at. Just gonna swap places tonight, hoping he can shoot that big 3-point that was in there. And I'm after elk. Bryce has an elk and deer tag, so he kind of has the best of both worlds. But stay with us and find out if we get one. And if we don't, this is why you want to hit the subscribe button, so when the second video comes out, which will be this next weekend, you'll be able to see if we get something then or not. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you.
Oh shoot, that didn't record. I just got up here. Bryce went over to where I was hunting last night. I came to where he was hunting last night. He's trying to go after that 3-point, but I just pushed a big 4-point over in his direction. I was gonna call and tell him, but I don't want him holding out and not shooting something, hoping that 4-point comes to him. On our way up, we saw a couple does. They were out grazing, so the deer are already up and eating, surprisingly. And so I'm gonna hurry and get into my shady tree spot and watch for an elk before they start moving as well. So this is my view. This is what I'm hunting right now. Waiting for something to cross through here. There's a lot of tracks moving through there. A lot of poop. Just about 4 or 5 minutes ago, I heard an elk bugle, which is really weird because we're still about 10 days. There's something moving too. Hold on. Tell you what, guys. I'm so frustrated I screwed that one up. That cow was less than 10 yards behind me. I thought it was a hunter walking in. She was chirping and everything. And I turned around and made eye contact with her. And that's all it took. Dang it. Got a spike elk right over here. It's on the other side of these bushes if I can not screw this up. Well, guys, I am so discouraged with myself right now. I was just sitting right over there in those trees, just taking a break. And I don't even know why, who takes a break in the middle of hunting, but I'm sitting on a tree stump thinking, nothing's gonna come around here. I'll just sit here for a minute, and I look up and holy crap, there's a big freaking spike sitting there. I don't know if I got it on video or not because it took me by such surprise. I looked at it and I thought, is that thing for real, or is it like a cardboard cutout? Or, and it looked at me, and then I'm like, jeez, it's real. So then I sat there, waited for it to not look at me. When it looked at me, I grabbed my bow because it was sitting on the ground. Why? I don't know. Hello, total rookie here, I guess. But so I pick it up. Luckily, I had an arrow notched, but I didn't know how far it was. My guess was 50 yards, but at that distance, you want to make sure. So, get out of here. I go to grab my rangefinder, and he's staring at me again. So at this point, I'm thinking, I'm sitting right out here in the wide open. I need to get somewhere where I can ditch my backpack, range find him, and pull back. I get a little disoriented. I didn't know exactly where I was, but he was standing right on the road. Had I known that, I knew the road came 20 yards from where I was sitting, and he probably would have followed it. But I got in a hurry, and I got stupid. And when I moved, he spotted me moving, and he bolted. So I ditched the pack and tried to see if I could guess where he'd come out at. And my guess is he went back into these trees here. So the good news is we know where the elk are now. The good news is we know where the bucks are now. So we're gonna head home here in a minute. I'm just waiting for Bryce to radio me saying he'll meet me at the intersection. He's over a mile that way, give or take. So I'm hoping he's had some success. I feel like I've had success even though I flubbed everything. When I sat down, right when I sat down, I heard a ugly bugle, kind of like your kid playing the trumpet the first day he gets it. You just hitting notes and you're like, what? He wasn't doing a location call. He wasn't doing a challenge call or anything. It was just an ugly bugle. And then I thought, oh, that's got to be some dumb hunter up on the hill bugling, because we're 10 days before the rut even starts. And so I just sat down, and then I heard something coming up behind me, and it started mewing. I'm like, well, that hunter's pretty good. I thought it was the hunter coming in where I'm at, and 3 little mews. And so I turn, and it's freaking elk, cow, probably 8-9 yards from me, staring me face to face. So I slowly turn around so I'm not making eye contact with her, and reaching down to grab my bow, and too much movement, she bolts back up the hill. So I thought this area was done and over with until I flubbed it up with Mr. Spike. So, well, I think I ran everything out of this area, just being dumb. Good thing is I still get to hunt for a few more weeks. So I'm gonna go find Bryce, see what he has to say. So stay tuned. All right, we are loaded up and we are headed out. I should have got Bryce on video talking about his night, except for sadly nothing really happened for Bryce. He went over and sat where I saw those 5 bucks last night in different areas, hoping to see something, and nothing ever came in. For a total of the night, sorry, this road's a little gravelly and bumpy on the way out. We saw 7 doe, 2 bucks, both of them 4 points. He saw one, and I saw one, and then the spike and the cow. So really good night to end the hunt. Well, not end the hunt on, but end this weekend hunting trip on. It's Tuesday night. He has to go back to work tomorrow, and I don't took 2 weeks off, but got some stuff I have to do tomorrow. So I'm gonna try and get out Thursday if possible and go to another area that I can't drive in or four-wheel in. I'll have to hike in, and it's a couple of miles, but if I get one, then I'll get some people to come help me haul it out. So I'll make sure to take you along, and appreciate you guys taking time to watch this video. Getting the animal is always the icing on the cake. Just being with my brother and up in the mountains and seeing things like the little red fox and the cow, elk, and the spike and the bugs and everything like that. That's what it's all really about, just being in nature. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you on the next one.